Hello YouTube, this is Dazza the cameraman. Today is Thursday the 15th of May 2014 and this is a quick video response to ZeroPointUFO, who has just uploaded this video. We're being sprayed, chemtrail in progress, Taylor's Hill, 15th of May 2014. As we can see, there's an aircraft which appears to be chemtrailing his skies over in Taylor's Hill, and this is Melbourne, Australia. And I responded by saying, well, first of all, let's just jump ahead in the video and take a look. So we can see this aircraft here. Looks like a 747 or probably a newer model aircraft. Obviously it's got 4 engines there. Anyway, I left a comment under this video saying, but aren't those trails coming out of the 4 engines? Sorry, aren't those trails coming out of the 4 engines? That makes them contrails, not chemtrails in my book. How do you explain that? And ZeroPointUFO has responded by saying, thank you Dazza for your response. Now I'm going to break this down so I can answer it bit by bit. He says, may I ask you, is your entire opinion regarding the reality of chemtrails or contrails based purely on the long-range observation of the engines? Is it your belief that there are no other indications evident to suggest against your contrail theory? I'm not sure what clean aviation fuel is doing burning like that, or why the engines seem to intermittently expel fuel residue that remains in the sky for so many hours. Okay, I'll just stop here and explain a couple of things there. No, my view that it is just a contrail and that chemtrails are not real is not purely based on long-range observations of the engine. It is based on many factors, and I'm quite happy to discuss those with anyone. It's probably easier to discuss them on Skype, which is what I've invited ZeroPointUFO to do, and I've also said that he's welcome to record the conversation and post it as a video. So it's a whole lot easier to explain things. Rather than me trying to answer all of these questions by text, which is very time consuming, I'm happy to go on the record in a video. So in answer to the questions here, he says, I'm not sure what clean aviation fuel is doing burning like that. Okay, well, you're not seeing aviation fuel burning. That is not aviation fuel that you're seeing burning. That is condensation, which is why they're called contrails. And you know, you could ask the same question of your car on a cold winter's morning. You say, I'm not sure what clean aviation fuel is doing burning like that. Well, when you start your car on a cold winter's morning, what do you see out the back? You see steam, and that's not aviation. That's not the fuel burning. You're seeing condensation in the air, because what you've got is warm, moist air hitting cold air. Okay, and it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing as what happens when you breathe out on a cold winter's morning. What do you see? You see steam. You see contrails from your breath. It's exactly the same thing. Now you also asked the question about it intermittently. I think what you're talking about there is that some of the videos of planes that people claim are chemtrailing appear to be stopping and starting, like they're turning the chemtrails on and off. What you're seeing there is the plane going through different conditions in the sky. Now you have to remember that these aircraft, when they're at very high altitude, they're travelling at hundreds of miles an hour. So they're actually covering large distances every second, you know, or every minute. And the conditions in the sky are not uniform, and that's why we have clouds. You know, you look in the sky and you'll see a cloud here, you'll see a cloud there. Sometimes the whole sky will be covered in cloud, but I'm talking about the days where you've got patchy cloud. Well, why do we have patchy clouds? It's because of the conditions. The reason that the clouds form are because of the conditions at the time, the humidity, the temperature, all of that. And if you take a time-lapse video of the sky, you'll often see clouds simply forming out of nowhere, and then disappearing into nowhere, and it's all because of the temperature and humidity at the time. It's the same thing with contrails. If you talk to any pilot or even a glider pilot, they'll tell you about the conditions in the sky. Now, glider pilots will actually look for thermals. You see these great big cumulus, towering cumulus clouds that go up many thousands of feet. Glider pilots will look for those because they know that where you see the cumulus clouds, the towering cumulus clouds, you get an uplift. Okay, so they will actually gain altitude using those clouds as a marker for uplift. So the sky is not uniform temperature and humidity, it changes, and that is why the contrails appear to switch on and switch off. It's all to do with the conditions that the aircraft is passing through, and remember, it's travelling a large distance over a very short period of time. Okay, what else have we got? I don't believe for a second that this is just because the trails are seen correlating to the engines, that somehow that this is a be-all end-all debunk of the chemtrail issue. So what he's saying there is because I pointed out that these trails here correspond with each engine, so how can they be chemtrails? Okay, obviously these are contrails. What else have we got? I'm not sure how condensation would occur directly behind a blazing jet engine. Well, again, start your car on a cold winter's morning and see what happens. Barium, silver iodide and aluminium have shown up in rainwater examples. Now, I think I've still got the this is the one. I was looking at it just before. I'll put a link underneath this video. Spurious correlations. Here is a collection of graphs that seem to have a correlation. For example, US spending on science, space and technology correlates with suicides by hanging, strangulation and suffocation. You can see that they follow each other very well there. All sorts of examples. Number of people who drowned by falling into a swimming pool, number of films Nicolas Cage appeared in. You know, so it goes on. You can check these out yourself. So let's go back to the video. Just because there appears to be a correlation doesn't mean to say that it's a fact. Plus barium, aluminium and other elements occur in the environment naturally anyway, so you need to do some research on that as well. Web-like fibres that have been dropping from the sky, landing on people's property, causing rashes, irritation and blatant illnesses. Well, again, that goes back to the correlation thing that I'm pointing out here. Yes, there could be fibres falling from the sky and people could be having rashes, but then those fibres could be coming from plants or something like that, or it could be from a chemical plant or something like that. You know, again, you've got this problem with correlation. You actually have to prove that those fibres are actually from chemtrails. You're talking about more gallons. I know what you're on about there. You know, people have all sorts of reactions to all sorts of things. I'm allergic to honey. You know, does that mean that they're poisoning the honey? Because I will either break out in a rash, or if I get stung by a bee, I'll go into anaphylactic shock. It could kill me. You know, so are they poisoning the bees? Well, I guess there could be a case made for that because of what we're doing to the environment. You know, I have no qualms about the fact that we are damaging our environment, and you know, the whole climate change thing is because of what we're doing to the environment. We are polluting the environment. We're with our industry, with our motor cars. We're also chopping down the trees. We're clear felling forests. We're changing the climate for the worst, and that is what is affecting the weather. With chopping down the trees, you know, you're affecting the rainforests, you're affecting rainfall, you're affecting precipitation, you're affecting temperature. All of that sort of thing is going to affect the climate. Okay, and quite possibly too, because if you look at the likes of Flight Radar 24 and look at how many aircraft are actually flying around the world at any time, and yes, they do leave contrails, and contrails are effectively clouds, and if they're pumping out artificial clouds, then that could be affecting the climate as well. But that's not the same thing as chemtrailing. Okay, more of the questions. Maybe they're nanoparticles that can be released into the engine itself. You know, I could go on about this for hours, and I'd be happy to in a discussion. Somebody can record it if they want to. You know, if there is this highly organized program of chemtrailing all around the world with thousands and thousands of aircraft involved, where are they refueling? Well, not refueling, where are they refilling, I should say? Because, you know, we've all seen the pictures of these aircraft with these tanks, and I should have thought to bring up one of those pictures. The tanks inside the aircraft, the big barrels that supposedly contain chemicals. Okay, I can post a link under this video as well, which explains what those tanks are for. Who would want to get on an aircraft and fly across the world on an aircraft that had never been flight tested? Would you want to get on an aircraft that had never been flight tested? Would you get on an aircraft that had never been off the ground before? What those tanks are for flight testing. They fill them up with water, and they pump the water around the cabin of the aircraft to change the loading, the balance, the center of gravity, to simulate passengers moving around, to simulate different loading of freight and all of that. I mean, it's a hell of a lot safer way to test an aircraft than filling it up with passengers on an aircraft that's never flown before. That's what those tanks are for. You know, for everything that the chemtrail crew can throw out there, there is a perfectly good and correct explanation for it. You also talk about the patents, you know, technology that has been patented. Alright, yes, there is technology that has been patented for weather manipulation. We're talking about cloud seeding. Cloud seeding has been around for decades, and also the fact that something has a patent on it doesn't mean to say that it's a reality. There are all sorts of things that have been patented that, you know, never got to market. Somebody came up with an idea and thought, I could make some money out of this, so they put a patent on it. That doesn't mean to say that it's an actual fact. But yes, cloud seeding is a reality. It has been used for decades. It's still used on a limited basis, but it is not a global chemtrail program. Now, going back to the point I was making before, where are all these chemtrail aircraft being refilled from? Where are they landing? Where are they taking off from? Are they landing at the ordinary airports? And wherever they're landing, they have to be refilled. Where are the tankers? Because these aircraft, if they're spraying chemtrails, they must be pumping out a hell of a lot of chemicals, and they would have to be refilled. So where are the tankers to refill them? You know, where is the ground crew? Where is the manufacture? Where are these chemicals manufactured? How are they distributed? You know, the questions go on and on and on. So, you know, I'm quite happy to talk about this on Skype with a one-to-one conversation where somebody can bring up the points and I will do my best to answer them. But yeah, I just thought it was easier to respond as I have, and I hope I haven't missed anything there. But anyway, as I pointed out, I invite you to talk to me voice to voice on Skype, where I can share my screen with you and answer your many questions directly. Heck, you can even record it as a video if you wish, and I would guarantee your anonymity and privacy if you agree to talk. You don't even need to use a webcam on Skype. You just need a microphone, or you can text if you don't want to speak. I would be happy to answer your questions and listen to your objections. Let me know. As always, do check out my Facebook discussion page of Voices of Reason to Explain X, or VORTEX. You'll find a link in the description area. Thank you for watching.